All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're looking at something really cool called EarthSTARS. And it's all built around this one powerful idea. What if the stories that really change things about our planet weren't told with data, but with songs? We're going to break down exactly how they're turning these individual personal stories into a huge global creative movement. So, who's at the heart of all this? It's Gen Z. I mean, they're the ones literally on the front lines, seeing the effects of climate change with their own eyes. And they've got these incredible stories of courage, of creativity. They're fighting for a future that is absolutely worth fighting for. These are the voices that EarthSTARS is all about.
But here's the catch, right? This is the problem that EarthSTARS saw. You hear these amazing stories, a farmer who's figured out how to bring soil back to life, or students protecting a stretch of ocean. But these incredible moments of hope and resilience, they often just stay local. There's no single place for them to go, no platform to get them out to the whole world.
So that's the big challenge, isn't it? How do you take these super important on-the-ground stories and give them the massive stage they deserve? Well, that's the exact gap that EarthSTARS was created to fill.
And their vision? It's actually really simple, but also pretty profound. They want to turn up the volume on these voices, using two languages everyone understands, music and film. So they bring artists out into these incredible natural spots, not to just put on a show, but to actually listen to these stories and turn them into something completely new.
Okay, so the creative engine driving this whole thing is called the SongLAB. Just think of it like a creative boot camp or an incubator. It's where professional songwriters and producers come together, but their main job isn't just to write songs. It's to listen, to really listen to the stories from these young leaders and soak in the environment they're in. So what's the fuel for these song labs? Well, it's not spreadsheets and data points, that's for sure. It's a mix of real human stories about stuff we can all understand, like food security and the health of our oceans. It's about the very real feeling of climate anxiety. But, and this is so important, it's also about the solutions like regenerative farming. And all of this is inspired by just being totally immersed in nature. Now, to make a process like this actually work, you need someone right at the center of it all, kind of like a conductor. And that person is the SongLAB curator. They're basically the creative heart of the whole experience. So what does a curator actually do? Well, they're the one who brings everyone together and makes sure things run smoothly. They work with EarthSTARS to bring the whole vision to life. That means guiding the artists, managing the day-to-day flow, and, maybe most importantly, protecting that special, creative environment. You can think of the curator as wearing two hats. With one hat on, they're the creative steward. They're setting the vibe, making sure everyone feels emotionally safe, and really pushing the artist to take creative risks. But then they put on their other hat, and it's all about the practical stuff. Organizing writing teams, handling schedules, and running those super important listening sessions. So what's a typical day actually feel like at a song lab? Well, it has this really intentional rhythm. It's all about balancing that deep creative work with time to recharge. So mornings might start with a walk in nature or some yoga. Midday is when you get down to business, focused, collaborative songwriting. And then the evenings are all about sharing what you've made and reflecting as a group. That structure, it's absolutely key to getting that deep, real creativity to happen. All right, so a song is created in the Song Lab. Awesome. But that is just the beginning of the story. So what happens next? Well, this is where that song starts its big journey, from being a personal piece of art to becoming part of our global culture. Yeah, and this quote from their manifesto just nails the whole idea. It's all about a ripple effect, like a chain reaction. A real story lights the spark for a song. That song goes out and connects with an audience. And that audience, once they're engaged and feeling it, is what can actually inspire real-world change. And here's a really critical piece of the whole puzzle. Those incredible moments of creation, they don't just disappear. Every single song lab is professionally filmed, becoming part of the EarthSTARS documentary series. This is so smart because it takes that private, intimate act of making a song and turns it into this huge cinematic story for the whole world to see. So let's map out the whole ecosystem, right from the beginning to the end. First, you have the input, those Gen Z stories and nature itself. That feeds the creation process inside the Song Lab. Then, and this is key, that whole process gets documented on film. And finally, the film, plus things like concerts and awards, they all work to amplify the message and hit that final goal, creating a real impact with a global audience. So when you zoom out and look at the big picture, you start to see that EarthStars isn't just about a few concerts here or a songwriting camp there. No way. It's a whole connected global creative movement, and it's all designed to have a real long-term cultural impact.
You can really boil the whole thing down to three core pillars. It goes like this: stories lead to songs, which are then amplified by cinema. Stories to songs to cinema. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's a super memorable way to think about how creativity can genuinely become a force for change.
And look, they're not trying to do this all on their own. That's a huge part of it. EarthStars works with a whole network of really respected partners. We're talking media platforms like WeDon'tHaveTime.org and major leadership groups like the Climate Reality Project. Having these partners is what makes sure the stories are real and the whole conversation is credible. This quote right here gets to the absolute core of their philosophy. Think about it. We have mountains of charts, graphs, and data about climate change, right? But all that information doesn't always make people act. EarthStars is betting on something else. They believe music has this unique power to get past our brains and go straight to our hearts, to create empathy and help us actually feel and imagine a different future. And all of this work is building towards something really ambitious and long-term, a living global archive. Imagine that, a library of songs and films that captures the emotional heartbeat of this specific moment in time. It's about documenting the stories of this generation and creating a cultural legacy that will last. So let's end with this one thought. EarthStars proves pretty convincingly that a story can become a song. But the real question, the one it leaves you with, is, okay, what can that song then become? Could it be a simple moment of connection between two people? Could it become an anthem for a whole community? Or maybe, just maybe, it could be the catalyst that sparks real change. The potential really is limitless.
The world is made up of 8 billion stories.
And we want to hear yours.